Hello, welcome to LIS671, Introduction to Digital Curation and Preservation. My name is Bruce Fulton, and I'm looking forward to being your guide and instructor for the course. Our agenda for this short video is to give you an introduction to the course. I'll go over how the course lays out, some ground rules, and some information you need to get started, and then I'll get you started on week one. So, the course is digital curation, digital preservation. A couple of short definitions for you. Of course, we'll spend the entire course looking at what these really mean. Digital curation is, according to Elizabeth Yackel, University of Michigan, from a paper she wrote in 2007, the umbrella term for digital preservation, data curation, and digital asset and electronic records management. Digital preservation is, as you can see from Elizabeth Yackel's digital curation definition, an activity of digital curation, the active management of digital content over time to ensure ongoing access. There's a perhaps more expanded definition of that term, the series of management policies and activities necessary to ensure the enduring usability, authenticity, discoverability, and accessibility of content over the very long term. Now, while libraries, archives, museums, records repositories, and many other kinds of institutions differ, the technological approaches to the management of digital content are similar. So this course is multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. We're going to be talking about a variety of cultural heritage institutions. We're going to talk about the differences where we need to, and of course the similarities. Because much of what we do from the technological infrastructure, from the cyber infrastructure point of view, are going to be very similar, but of course there are disciplinary differences, and we're going to cover those. We're going to talk about digital curation, data curation. We're going to talk about libraries, archives, and museums, principally records management to perhaps a somewhat lesser extent. We're going to try to cover all the bases, and there's going to be something for everyone. Richard Pierce Moses, past president, Society of American Archivists, said, and you can read along the quote with me, "I believe the next step requires us to shift our attention from the conceptual to the practical and empirical, to pay more attention to what needs to happen in the trenches. Archivists and records professionals as a whole, and not just digital records specialists, must respond by becoming as comfortable working with digital materials as they are with paper. In fact, I believe that in the future, the notion of digital archivist will be useful because all archivists will be digital archivists." Well, I can tell you that the future is here. There are very few of you who are going to go into positions in libraries, archives, and museums who are not going to have to deal with digital materials. And so this should be applicable to really anybody in the field, the material that we're going to be studying. With that said, let's take a look at what's going to go on with the course. This course is going to be a graduate seminar style. What that means is that it's mostly going to be reading and discussion. There are going to be assignments, so about half reading and discussion. There's class participation. I'll talk in a few minutes about what that really means. And five assignments that are going to cover the material, what we're going to be talking about. There are 2 assigned texts. You can see what they are here, and then refer to the syllabus for the details. There is an online ebook that you can get actually for free, read it online for free through the U of A library, and then a book on digital preservation for libraries, archives, and museums, the ISBN number here that you can get that. And then there's a number of articles that we're going to read. Students are responsible for retrieving those articles from the U of A databases, and I've got a video that is linked here that you can use to see how you can get those articles from the U of A databases. The course is homed. It's an online course. The course is homed in the desire to learn a learning management system. You log in After you've registered for the course opens about a week before the classes actually begin. You should familiarize yourself with D2L. There's some online tutorials and so on if you are not familiar with that learning management system before the course starts. Three main areas that you need to be aware of. There's content, where all the course material is located, assignments, and the lectures, the schedule, other course material. There's discussion, of course. Discussion consists of the weekly discussion sections. There is an Ask the Instructor section you can use to ask questions if you're unsure of either the reading material or if you're having trouble finding stuff or whatever you need to ask the instructor. There's a student lounge section where you can discuss things that are perhaps off topic or maybe you read something online that's relevant to the course. And then there's some other sections. There's some specific sections for assignments and so on. Those will be obvious when you look at them. And then there's the assignment section that used to be called Dropbox, but it is in fact a Dropbox where you'll put your assignments when they're due. So become familiar with D2L before the course starts if you're not already. So there's weekly work, and if you're taking this course in the summer, that's at a pretty accelerated pace. So it'll be faster than weekly. All of the materials based on a kind of a unit basis, and in a regular semester, the units correspond to weeks. But if you happen to be taking it in the summer, then those weeks go by faster than weeks. So there's D2L content unit modules. Each unit will be comprised of an organizing lecture. Usually those are videos like this one. Sometimes it might be audio or text. Usually they're videos. And there's a discussion assignment. There's a reading list, and there's a required reading list, which is the material that you need to read to be able to participate in the discussion. There's also an optional reading list. This is supplementary material that you can look at. Some of it you may want to use for the weekly discussions. Some of it is material that's relevant, might be advanced, might be perhaps a little bit off topic. I'd recommend saving those. You can always come back to them later. And then there's supplementary notes for most units that will further add to your understanding of the material if you choose to avail yourself of it. The main thing you need to do is be sure to read all of the required readings because that will show in your treatment of the discussion if you haven't completed that. Now, the class is large, usually, because it's required for a couple of our certificates, and it's part of the distributed elective requirements for the master's degree. So, because it's seminar and because we want to have good discussions and give everybody a chance, I divide the class into smaller discussion groups beginning in Unit 2. So, depending on exactly how that works, there's usually anywhere from 7 to 10. I try to get it for the smaller discussion units, and so that gives everybody a good opportunity to participate in discussion and read everybody else's posts and contribute. The way I usually arrange it in a regular semester, new content opens weekly every Wednesday. And your first discussion, what I call your primary post essay, is due no later than the following Monday night. And that's penalized if that's late. I really need to get everybody with their first post up so we can have good discussions. You need to post before you can see your first essay, before you can see any of the other discussion. I want you to read the material. Think about it, give it your best first shot at a good essay on what I assign for the discussion reflection. And then you can see what everybody else's posts who've posted, or you might be the first one out, you don't know. And then you can add to that if you think after seeing other people's posts you want to contribute some more of a primary post, or if you want to reply to your other group members' posts. And those are due by the following Friday, and there are late penalties. Read the syllabus on that. And all of the due dates and so on are detailed in a assignment calendar that's in course documents. So if you'll take a look at that at the beginning of the semester when the course opens, maybe transfer that to your own calendar. It's very detailed, so there shouldn't be any confusion about when things are due. Discussion. There are rubrics for the discussion, just so you know where you stand. Each discussion unit is graded on a 25-point scale, and that's mapped back into whatever the percentage of discussion is for the course grade. Your primary post essay, you need to have at least one of those, and your reflection on the readings as suggested by the discussion questions posted for each unit. You need to create, as I said, your primary discussion post before you can see the posts of others. And this primary post essay should be robust. The reflection prompts, that is what I want you to discuss, are usually compound suggestions. That is, there will be 3 or 4 usually areas that I want you to discuss out of the readings. And in order to get full credit for the discussion for that unit, you need to address all of those. So you can do that in one essay if you want to. Now, sometimes it might make sense to make more than one post, but usually they should be addressed in one essay. And I want you to make it easy for me to give you all the points. So the best way to do that is to use topic headings. So if there are 3, say, areas that I've asked you to address, use a topic heading. So, part 1, part 2, part 3, or maybe use a heading that says discussion point A. This is what this is about, so that I can see that you've addressed all of the discussion points. The other thing that's important is that refer to the points in the reading. So don't kind of go off on a tangent. I want you to be creative and think about these things, but I want you to reflect on the reading. So refer to specific points in the reading so that I know that you actually read them. And then there isn't a specific word count, but your primary post essay that you're reflecting on, it's going to be hard to do these in under 250 words. 400 is probably more like it. Think about 2 to 4 double-spaced pages. That's your weekly essay that tells me that you read the readings, you were thinking about them. And then in addition to your primary post, then this is a seminar style, so it's discussion. So you need at least 2 substantive replies, and engage others in your discussion group with feedback responses. And the idea is that you want to make sure your group covers all the aspects of the suggested discussion reflection. That's why I break these into smaller groups, so that you get everything discussed. So the discussion prompt, check content for each unit module to read the questions you need to focus on. The discussion forums are set up in D2L. To get full credit, you need to discuss all parts of the question in the discussion prompt, and then use subject headings to make sure you've addressed all parts of the question and to make sure I can clearly see that you've addressed all parts of the question. So make it easy for me to give you full credit, because I really do want everybody to do well in the course. Maybe this is a little bit of a repeat, but just, say it twice and it's just as nice. A seminar is a form of academic instruction that has the function of bringing together small groups for recurring meetings, focusing each time on some particular subject in which everyone present is requested to actively participate. So This course is conducted as a graduate seminar, except the discussion is online instead of face-to-face. Consider discussion group work. It's your task as a group to kind of suss out what's in the readings, what's in the text, what's in the lecture. And the goal is to use the readings and discussion as a learning tool. So I'm here to guide you through that. But the learning really comes from your reading of the resources and discussion with your peers. So I'll be there if there's questions, or if I see that you're off track, then I'll jump in and kind of hopefully bring you back. This isn't a course that you can do in isolation. You have to read all of the posts that your group members make. It's tracked in D2L, and that's where that class participation comes in. If I see that you're just putting in your own post and making your 2 required replies, but you're not reading everybody else's replies, then that course participation grade will not be good for you. My lectures are relatively short. What I try to do is to frame the readings for you. Some of the readings might be a little on the technical side, so most of them will be clear, but where some of them might be a little bit dense, I'll try to highlight for you in my lectures the things that you should take out of them. So I'll try to organize these things, but the purpose of the lecture really is to set those readings up for you. The intellectual content is in the readings, not from my lectures. So my lectures tend to be short, and then take your best shot at your primary post, your essays, and then we'll work on the content and understanding in the discussions if there's areas that are not clear to you. So the assignments, we have 5 assignments that are completed throughout the semester. The details on each one are in content and course documents. There is a job search that I have you do. I have students in most of my courses do those. I want you to be aware of what jobs are available in the field. Perhaps this is a field that you might be interested in, or perhaps you're looking to go somewhere else, but I want you to be aware of what's out there in the field. There are some digital collection case studies that I want you to run based on some work that we'll be doing out of one of the textbooks. We will do a traditional finding aid, a print finding aid, followed by a digital finding aid. This will help you understand what collection level resource description looks like. And then there's going to be a digital preservation assignment that will be announced as the course gets underway. So that's how the course is laid out. Of course, if you have any questions, you can post into the course once the course gets started. For the first week, the most important thing is that you read the syllabus. And that'll be linked in D2L if you haven't already found the syllabus. Review all the documents in D2L contents, the course documents, the schedule, the course calendar, the reading, viewing assignments in Content Module 1. There are a couple of videos to watch and introduce yourself in the discussion forum. That will get us started with week 1. And then the content, most of the content really will start in earnest in week 2, where you'll be divided up into your discussion groups to get started on some of the heavy lifting. Then I want you to read Koleshko, the discipline of organizing. There's a assignment in there. Special attention to any notes or sidebars dealing with digital collections and so on. Make sure you have a good grasp of the 5 design decisions and organizing systems. And then there is a thought discussion assignment for Module 1 that I think you'll have fun with. And so that's about it for getting started. So I trust you will enjoy the course. I always look forward to reading all of your discussions. I think we have some interesting times and interesting discussions ahead. Thank you for watching.